Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all the latest Dodgers news and rumors all postseason long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Who do you think is a more important signing for the Dodgers, Chris Taylor or Corey Seager, and which of those two will be back? Do you think both of them will be back? Do you think it'll be one of two? Call your shot down below in the comments section. And for all the latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So this is the least shocking move you'll see all offseason. It was always going to be a foregone conclusion, but the Dodgers have extended the qualifying offer to Corey Seager. Jon Heyman tweeted out, Corey Seager will, of course, get the qualifying offer. None of the big four shortstops who are eligible to get one, including Seager, will take it. We're going to start with Corey Seager and the qualifying offer. So there is no chance that he's going to accept that $18.41 million deal. He is going to test the market. He is going to get a big deal, whether it be with the New York Yankees, the Dodgers. I've heard people talk about the Giants, other teams potentially in the mix, but he will not be accepting that qualifying offer. Now, this show is for everybody, and I've had people hit me up this morning asking, hey, D-Mac, what is the qualifying offer? Can you explain it? Well, here we go. It's pretty simple. So the qualifying offer was introduced as a part of the 2012 collective bargaining agreement with Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Players Association. Now, the qualifying offer does is it gives teams draft pick compensation should they lose a free agent to another team. The qualifying offer is a one-year deal set at the average of the top 125 salaries in Major League Baseball, and this offseason it's worth $18.4 million. That is down from last year, which was $18.9 million, so I'm sure the MLBPA won't be happy about that. So how does a player become eligible for one of these big one-year bags? Well, one, that player has never received a qualifying offer previously in his career, and two, that player spent the entire season on that team's roster. In-season acquisitions are ineligible. So this year, the Dodgers, they have 11 free agents, and you know already that Max Scherzer, Albert Pujols, and Danny Duffy, they're ineligible because they didn't spend the entire year in Dodger blue. And then Kenley Jansen, he's not eligible to receive the qualifying offer because LA, they extended the QO to him back before they signed him to that big deal back in 2017. So LA, they have 6 players eligible. You've got Corey Seager, Chris Taylor, Clayton Kershaw, Corey Knebel, Jimmy Nelson, and Steven Souza Jr. So just ask yourself right now, which of those players would you want on a one-year $18.4 million deal? Well, right away, no to Steven Souza Jr., no to Corey Knebel, and no to Jimmy Nelson. Then also, Clayton Kershaw, that one might be dicey. And this just in, it turns out that the Dodgers did not extend the qualifying offer to Clayton Kershaw. Now, that doesn't mean he won't be back. I still think he will re-sign with the Dodgers if he intends to continue his career in Major League Baseball. Something less than that per year, something $15-17 million per year for maybe 2 to 3 years. So don't be alarmed, but they did also extend the offer to Chris Taylor. So Chris Taylor got the offer, so did Corey Seager, but not Clayton Kershaw. And also, if he wanted that, you give him that money. Then Chris Taylor, that's a no-brainer. Corey Seager, that's also a no-brainer. Now, teams have 5 days following the conclusion of the World Series to tender qualifying offers to eligible players, and players have 10 days to accept that offer. Now, there have been 96 qualifying offers made since the new rule was implemented, and only 10 players have accepted. Now, of this list, you know that Corey Seager, he won't consider it for a second. You know Chris Taylor, he won't as well. Now, will Chris Taylor find a team that will pay him $18.4 million a year? No, he won't, but he will find a team that will give him some length. Yes, at a lower AAV, but you're going to get more years. Something like a 5-year, $70+ million deal, something in that range is what I'm thinking at the moment. Now, Clayton Kershaw is interesting because I don't think anyone truly knows about his future. If he wants to play for 1 year, maybe he does accept that $18.4 million deal, but I still think that is highly unlikely. unlikely. I think that he rejects it, and the Dodgers, they sign him for a few more seasons. That's just my guess. I think that's what will ultimately happen. Now, I fully anticipate the Dodgers making 3 qualifying offers this year, one to Seeger, one to Taylor, and one to Clayton Kershaw. And if either of those players sign with different teams, whoever they sign with will give the Dodgers a compensation draft pick. So it basically gives the Dodgers something and allows them to lose a player without getting absolutely nothing for his services. Now, here's a perfect example. 2015, the Dodgers, they extended the 1-year qualifying offer to Zack Greinke. It was $15.8 million that year. And of course, Greinke, he would go on to reject that and sign a 6-year, $206.5 million deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So the Dodgers, they got a compensatory pick from the D-backs, and they selected with the 32nd pick in the first round, Will Smith. So that's how they ended up with the Clutch Prince. They got him with the compensation pick for Zack Greinke. So it's really a protection for teams to get something when their key free agents leave and don't re-sign. Now, when it comes to Corey Seager, Chris Taylor, and Clayton Kershaw, we know that those aren't guys who are going to say, hey, let's take a 1-year deal, try to bet on ourselves to get a better contract. No, they've already set themselves up for a nice payday, with the exception maybe of Clayton Kershaw, who's not looking for a big, massive deal at this point in his career. Another way to look at this, too, is if Corey Seager and Chris Taylor do walk, the Dodgers could continue to try to replenish this farm system and find the next Will Smith like we previously talked about. So players have until November 17th to accept the qualifying offer, which I fully expect that, of course, Seager and Chris Taylor won't. And I really don't think that Clayton Kershaw will either. I think the Dodgers will work something out with him ultimately, and I think you will see some work past due compensation because he is King Kersh. Now, who's a more important signing between Corey Seager and Chris Taylor? Well, there's several ways you can look at it, because we know Corey Seager, he's the superior player. There's no question about that, but you have to consider the money that he is going to command on the open market. He's going to get a big bag, $240+ million. Chris Taylor will be sub $100 million. So when you look at that value and the fact that the Dodgers, they don't have any key replacements that can do what Chris Taylor does on this roster, I think you can lean towards Chris Taylor, because the Dodgers do have Trey Turner that is waiting to take over that shortstop spot if Corey Seager walks. But then also you think to yourself, well, what if Corey Seager is willing to take a reasonable deal, something in the 220 to 250 range, and then also slide over to third base? Under those parameters, I think Corey Seager would be the more important signing, because he is the better player, and you also have to replace his productivity at the plate from the left side. Now, Chris Taylor was an all-star last season, but Corey Seager, he is one of the best hitters in the game when he's healthy, in my opinion. So I think there's a couple different ways that you can look at it. Some ways you can say that Chris Taylor is the more important signing. Some ways you can say that Seager is the more important signing. But to me, it just comes down to the money they command and Seager's willingness to slide over to third base. So to me, if you tell me that he's willing to go to third and take a more team-friendly deal, I'm taking Seager. But if you tell me that he wants $300+ million, he wants to stay at shortstop, then I'm going Chris Taylor. So I think it just all depends. But let me know down below in the comment section, who do you think is the more important signing between Corey Seager and Chris Taylor? Let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball all off season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers videos, smash that like button. It's going to be a wild off season, tons of news, tons of rumors, and I want you guys to be a part of the action. So drop those comments. We're going to be doing comment videos where we just feature your comments throughout the off season. So be sure to get in on the action. For all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. Download the new Dodgers Nation app. For latest Dodgers Nation gear, head over to GearUp.LA. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.